Hello, Tiger fans. Welcome to a new edition of Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you after our hiatus for the Christmas holiday. And, of course, the snowy weather changed things last week as Coach Ginger High Colvin joins me of the Lady Tigers. And, Coach, I know you've had a million things going on, family, Kobe playing basketball, keeping mom and dad straight, all the weather.
Right. And I think, who did he do? She did the last show, right?
She did, well, I've slept since then. Did Hoot do the final one before? She may have.
I think she did.
She did the post-game interview this week as well after the win over Ohio Christian. So we've been all over the place.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
The Lady Tigers, the good news in all that, still
hanging on.
They're on the winning track, 15-0, third in the country. New poll came out today as we record this. And before we get into all that, let's talk about that poll. 4 of the top 9 from the Mid-South Conference. Cumberland's falls down a bit, but they're still 16. Mm-hmm. So if you're the 5th place team in the league, but you're 16th in the nation, that's a pretty good league, Coach.
Right, and 3 losses. They have 3 losses and are 16th in the nation, so that shows a lot. It's tough to have that. And the poll is not as important as it used to be. But it's still nice to have. But now we're going analytical. We go with all that. And the RPI, which Lindsey's not mentioned in the poll, but Lindsey's 33rd in the RPI. And so if the national tournament were to start tomorrow, we would have every one of those teams in the national tournament. So it's a dogfight, that's for sure.
Well, let's talk about that Blue Raider team. You face them on Saturday over at their place. You start conference play with a pair of wins, and you get Cumberland's at home in a matchup. They were 7th at that time, an overtime win. Lindsey Wilson on Saturday. How critical is it to start league play off on that positive foot?
It's crazy. You just can't in our league. You already feel like you're behind before you've ever played when you look at the schedule and you look at the competition. And just to be able to get that one at home with a young team that really doesn't understand, you can tell them, but until they play in the game, I'm not sure they understand the significance of it. The kids weren't on campus, but to get that against a top 10 team was huge for us. And then 20 minutes down the road, John Wigginton always puts a great team on the floor, and I feel like this is one of his most solid teams. They play extremely hard, and to get two is tough, and I'm thrilled that we did that.
It's a young team that Coach Wigginton has as well, Coach, and one that by the time they get to a national tournament setting, you're not going to want to see Lindsey Wilson College in your pod, I assure you, whoever that is. But they're playing without Amelia Hodges, who had the knee injury, so they're young everywhere, freshman and sophomore, and I can't imagine what he's doing, but it's a terrific coaching job.
It is. They've got blue-collar kids, and I think when you have blue-collar kids, it just makes things run. They're not going to quit. And he brought a transfer in who is extremely athletic and does a great job, and I thought played well against us. So it's a matter of them continue to improve as the season goes along. They've got score-hungry kids that aren't afraid, they don't back down, and it's a team that, like you said, I don't think anybody would want to face them in the national tournament.
And going back prior to the game, and we'll look at Ohio Christian in a moment, but you had Lindsey Wilson, national tournament team, Cumberland's national tournament team, Pikeville will be most likely a national tournament team before Christmas, Carroll and Montana Tech. So your last 5 pretty much national tournament teams, and now you get into Cumberland University, Freed-Hardeman, Bethel, and others. It's a gauntlet right now.
It is. I think it's a shout out to my hairstylist, Merica Gowan, because the product color has gotten a lot darker because my gray's gotten a lot more significant. And it is, you just get through one and, man, you're slapped in the face with the next one, and it just doesn't get any easier. Our kids have handled it well. Like you said, we've had a lot going on off the court this year with family issues, and obviously Hootie's mom passed away, and then my mom has been in and out of I can't say rehab but mom's had problems with a broken hip, and we've really had a lot going on. So I think that says a lot about our kids and how they've responded, and they've just kept hanging on for us. And I'm really proud of them for how well they've mentally handled it.
The Lady Tigers were in action at home Monday night in the Powell Center. They knocked off Ohio Christian as they came down from Circleville, Ohio, 75-49. The final score there. Dia Bradley led the Lady Tigers with 15 points, 4 steals. Lauren Lee, 13 and 7. Paige Serafini had 10 and 6. And coaches, you look at those numbers. One thing that the last couple games, Dia Bradley, you don't lead your school all-time in scoring for no good reason. And Dia is starting to kind of find out how she can score and be a big component at this level. Lindsey Wilson, she had 17, I believe, 15 against Ohio Christian, and that light bulb, as we like to say, is starting to come on.
And I feel like she saved us at Lindsey. She came in and knocked some shots down, had 14 the first half, and played exceptional. And she knows. When we talked the other day, she said, in high school, everybody knows I shot a lot of layups. You know, she was just quicker and stronger than everybody. And now she said, I think I've settled a lot from behind the three-point line, and she's not settling as much. She's playing with more confidence, and she'll just continue to get better. Is it Perry, Travis Perry for UK? You know, they put him in last night, and he knocks a couple threes down. And, you know, he played with no fear on the offensive end because that's all he's ever done is score. And I feel like Diaz is the same way. She can just score the basketball in so many ways. And Hootie and I were talking the other day, we've never really had a kid like her. Not a kid with her size, first of all, but with her abilities offensively to create on all three levels. She can shoot the three, she can shoot the mid-range, and she can drive and score. And I'm so excited about her future and what she just continues to give to us. And
one that's been here for a while that's really starting to see her game grow as well as Paige Serafini. She recently, and we talked about this back in the day with Hagan Tyler. Hagan got here, he was a three-point specialist. By his senior year, he had figured out when to take his chances, when to deck it, and all those things. And Paige, the last couple games, her cutting and passing have been phenomenal.
Paige is very skilled. She's pretty crafty, to be honest with you, with the ball, and passes it well and does some of those things. But like you said, we've never been able to see that. And we all know she can shoot it, and we all know she can get hot pretty quickly. But her moving without the ball and not being afraid to be a little bit more physical. Defensively, we still stay on her daily, but she's really improving. 6 rebounds is huge for her, and that's what we're begging her to do, and she's going to go out there and try to do whatever you ask of her. But she requires attention when she's on the floor, and that helps us all.
Absolutely. Have to know where Paige Serafini is, and she'll be in the Powell Center Thursday night at 5:30 as the Lady Tigers will take on Cumberland University. We'll step away, come back and visit with the head coach on the upcoming matchup with the Phoenix. Stay here on Tiger Timeout.
Hey, honey. We thought we'd try something new.
Family art hour. What do you think?
You got jokes. You're funny.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
Thanks for staying with us here on Tiger Timeout. Matt Payton in the studios, WLCU here on campus as the Lady Tigers and Tigers get set to take on Cumberland University Thursday night. And all students that come through the Powell Center doors can enter to win a $50 gift card to the Tiger Shop. There are 5 of them to be given away on Thursday evening. And coaches, you welcome in a Mid-South Conference school. Hopefully a few extra students in the Powell, and they'll take advantage of that.
Can the coaches participate in that?
What
do we have to do?
We can check on that to see if coaches have eligibility. Maybe Tammy Clements would be up for that.
I can go out and shoot a little half-court shot or something.
Well, I mean, you got the Lady Tigers practice that, so
yes,
we don't want to let them do it. That's kind of I don't know if we've ever gotten
I'm not
into
trying
this,
to get the Lady Tigers. I'm trying to get something for me.
You're trying to get Coach one, but at the end of practice, there's usually a half-court shot. Some days it goes longer than others, but who's the one that you always had the most confidence in at that half-court shot?
In the history,
And
Emily Fox.
I was going to say it would be 15, but not
Emily
you.
Fox.
It's a different 15.
No, not that 15. Emily would shoot a jump shot from half court and usually get us out of it pretty quickly. We've had some that were actually pretty good at it, but she's the one that comes to mind.
Almost a cheat code when
It really
she
was.
stepped up there. But you get Cumberland University at home Thursday, Coach, and it's a 5:30 start. And we talked a little bit off camera. I had somebody ask me, what about this Cumberland University team? I said, the first thing you need to know is Kayla Gordon is on the trip or not. And she'll be on the trip, unfortunately.
Right.
Mark Vaughn in his first season, a longtime assistant for Chris Nelson. That's a good one to inherit if you're walking into a new situation. She's a tremendous player.
Oh, she is. And I know when Mark took the job, it was a question on who was staying and who wasn't staying. And when he realized that Gordon was going to be on his roster, he was thrilled about that. And Mark's done a really good job, brought kids in, and he'll do a tremendous job down there. Great guy. Runs Chris's system, runs a lot of what Chris did or what Chris and Mark did when they were together at Bethel. So he's going to put his kids on the floor. They're going to play hard, and you have to know where Kayla Gordon is. There's no doubt about it.
That's an interesting dynamic with Mark coming in. You're familiar with some of the things that he's going to do, but as a new coach to the league, he's also familiar with what the Lady Tigers want to do. So I'm sure it makes that scout a little easier on his part as well.
He is. Yes, he knows us, and he knows what they did at Bethel to try to combat us, and I think he'll add all that. And then, he did Chris's scouts, and he's very, very familiar. And like I say, he's got a really good basketball mind, and I think his teams will just continue to get better. But this is not a team that we can overlook by any means.
Absolutely, and Cumberland University, as we look at the numbers from this upcoming matchup, they are amidst a difficult schedule as well. When you talk about the teams ranked in the Mid-South, they're one right now that is not, and so their schedule is very tough. Each win is it's a big one for them, so they can come here to the Powell. They'd love nothing more than to knock off the 15-0 Lady Tigers, and you can see from a scoring the basketball standpoint, at times they've struggled. They struggled early, but they went on a nice little win streak here, Coach, and I think as you see sometimes with a new coach coming in, they kind of found their footing, and you can throw out maybe that first month or so.
I think so.
They're much more indicative here lately of what
they are. I think they're playing much more solid, and every new coach needs that signature win, and you're going to be able to get one in the Mid-South because every time you step on the floor, you have that opportunity. And I know they need that. I know they're looking to that, and that's what I told my kids yesterday. They're coming in with no pressure. They're coming in just playing loose and playing basketball, and we have to understand that we can't let anybody get hot. We can't let anybody just come in and get in rhythm.
You also play Saturday, so it's a typical off day in the Mid-South, and it's a big one against Cumberland's, but then you've got Miami Middletown coming in Saturday, so you go to another non-conference game, and this will actually be your last non-conference on the slate. But before the Freed Bethel trip, in between the Cumberland, you've got that last non-con, a chance for Tiger fans to come in and watch you guys at home. But again, that's one where you don't want to let your guard down at all.
No, you don't, and it's you love to be able to get all your kids involved and all your kids playing. And it should be a game where we can do that. But we just want to continue to get better, work on some things that we've not had an opportunity to work on. This has been a gauntlet of a week for us, and will continue to be. But you can play 28 games in the NAIA. We had 28 games scheduled. We lost 2. So we're down to 26, and that hurts somewhat. And you just want to be able to let your kids play those games. So this Saturday game is an important one, just so all these kids have an opportunity to play. That's why they work so hard, is to be able to play. And we want that for them, and hopefully weather will hold on and let us get that one in.
And I think since the last time we talked, you wrapped up that final, or at least at the moment, the 6th Lady Tiger signing in the group. Was that Kinsley Molden was the last one, I believe? Is that correct, or am I incorrect on that?
Yes, Matt, we did. That happened when a lot of stuff was going on with my family, so Hootie went over and wrapped that one up. So yes, we are complete now.
But that's another, I think, sharpshooter that you add to the fold.
She can shoot it. Yes, she's not very big. Our sharpshooter that we bought from Anderson's about 6'1". She can really shoot it. Kinsley's not as big, but if you give her some daylight, she can drain it. So we're super excited about that.
That's what the game's become. They all like the long ball.
Yeah, and well, Carrie Ann, who committed, I think since we've talked last time, she had a triple-double, put one on the floor. Our Jackson County signee has got her 2,000th point. So the future, I'm so excited. Hootie was able to go down and watch Kaylee Smiley play, and it's just Katie Smiley. watch her play. So we're excited. When your mind gets tired, I've been calling Maddie Nally Mally.
Mally. Well,
so you have to forgive me a little bit. The other day we were in practice and I called her Mally, so we're just kind of sticking with Mally right now.
I think last year I called Hallie Allen Haley. I won't do that again.
That's happened a lot.
We've got that one figured out.
We've got some names, Talon and Hallie. They're getting some butchered on some of the opposing teams, but yeah. We'll take it.
We'll just call them, I didn't get to this on air Monday, but Hal and Tal. I think that's where they
I think I've been shortening that. We've got D, Hal, Tal, so Ty.
It all works.
Yeah, it all works.
Well, Coach, best of luck this week.
Thank you.
The Lady Tigers in action Thursday, 5:30 the start against Cumberland University. It's a 1 o'clock start against Miami Middletown on Saturday. We'll step away, come back, and visit with the head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon, here on Tiger Timeout.
Owen, when you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
We didn't know what the future would hold, but we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life. And I am so proud to call you my son.
We are champions of character.
Tiger Timeout continues here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. After we've ran through Lady Tiger basketball with the head coach, Ginger High Colvin, we now turn our attention to the Tigers. They're back in action on Thursday as well as part of that Mid-South Conference doubleheader against Cumberland University. But before we look ahead, let's rewind as the head coach, Brent Vernon, joins me. And Coach, we had the Christmas holiday. We had all the crazy snow and the weather and different things. It's been a while since we've gotten to get together. I hope the break was good for you and the Tigers.
It was good. I want to say short-lived, but I mean that's probably best for everybody to get back to work. But no, it was very good. It was needed, and I think we've come back and trying to find a groove and hit our stride.
As we rewind a little bit, let's go back to the New Year's Day game down at Reinhardt. You go to Waleska, Georgia. The Tigers have played there once before. It wasn't against Reinhardt. It was against Life in a Mid-South Conference matchup. Anyhow, you get down to the Eagles Nest, I believe as they call it, and that environment is always interesting. It's it kind of reminds me in some ways of St. Catherine, how small it is, maybe a Georgetown. But Cam Vick had a nice night. You needed a few stops down the stretch. They had a guy get hot and ultimately came away with a win.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a really good game for us as we sort of transitioned into conference play, a true road game, and Reinhardt's got some very good athletes and good players. It was back and forth the entire night. 1-point game at the half, and they extended a little bit in the second half, and we come right back. But Cam Vick had a great game. They had a guard who I thought we defended pretty well, who just made tough shots late, and sometimes that happens. So I thought it was a good learning experience for us, and still trying to figure out some things with Cam Vick while we get better and make our team better. But we battled and competed, and that's something we've been doing consistently, night in and night out. At that time, we were just trying to still find a way to get one of those close games to go in our favor.
And I know that the non-conference schedule, but you don't want to come right out of break after, at that point, what would have been, 2.5 weeks off. So you slide that non-conference in there to kind of get your feet under you. And it's always, some coaches love that, some coaches hate that. But again, the thing about getting the legs, getting back on the court, it's got to be critical.
It is, and I think ours was good because I liked the timing of it. We got back the day after Christmas. We had 4 or 5 practices underneath our belt. I mean, there's been times we've gotten back on the 26th and played on the 28th, and that's not really quite enough time. I thought we had enough time. We, like I said, had some good practices under our belt. Had a really good week leading into it. I felt good about it. Our team did, and we played good in bunches. Again, you have to be on the road 10 points better, and we lose by 2. So I'm going to sit there and say I thought we were about 8 points better. I thought we were really, really close to beating a very good team there. And again, we've had that unfortunate instance a lot, really close. But I thought it was good. I think it really helped prepare us as we got closer to conference.
And then conference began last Thursday. You had Cumberland's at the Powell Center, and that's a really good Cumberland's team. It's a dynamic offensive Cumberland's team, and you did a pretty good job defensively at times, but again, you needed a little more consistent offensively, get a few stops in the second half. You never could make that one big push to get back to the even point.
Yeah, and it was a typical Mid-South game, I thought. It was very competitive. It was, not tons of fouls called. It was physical. Really did a nice job in the first half, held them to 34 points, and they were a team averaging 95. So I felt really good about where we were. Had changed up a few things defensively. I thought Cumberland did a great job at halftime making a few adjustments. They got on a little bit of a roll, and we sort of got a little stagnant offensively. We had good looks, we just didn't make them. We made some changes late defensively that I thought definitely helped us and kept us in the game. But as you said, we could never get enough quality stops in a row to where we could really make that game into a 4 or 5 point game. It stayed in that 8 to 10 point range for the most part the last 10 minutes, and we just never could get that big push. But a team that, they went through one little stretch of losing some games, but other than that stretch, they've been really good all year. I think they're a top 15 team nationally. So it was a good test for us, and again, shows that we're making strides and getting closer.
The Tigers dropped the home opener in Mid-South Conference play to Cumberland's. They had to try to get one back on Saturday. They did just that at Lindsey Wilson College. It was a 63-60 win for Coach Brent Vernon's club, an exciting finish. Jay Milburn led the way at a terrific afternoon, 19 points, 6 boards. Kobe Penny was phenomenal as well, 17 points and 5 rebounds there for the Tigers. And Coach, coming down the wire, and we talked about this in the postgame, as good as you guys played, there was an energy in that building that you typically don't get on the road, and kudos to Alfonso Alvarez's men's volleyball team as they made the way over, and they really kind of changed that environment.
They did, and in our league, Saturdays, you go Thursday, Saturday, not much time to prepare and not much time to recover. It's a tough turnaround, and I think when you have some energy like our volleyball team brought, I really think it transitioned our guys and really helped us get over the hump. I was extremely impressed with our crowd. Impressed with our guys, and it was the close win that we've been looking for. Lindsey's a very good team. Just last Thursday, they took the #1 team in the nation down to the wire and lose by 3. And then we had a great game, obviously, and we found a way to get a close win. So I was very happy with our team, and again, it was another typical Mid-South, and this was even more a little old school Mid-South when you talk about 63-60, but it's just how it's going to be night in and night out, and you're going to have close games, and we're going to beat each other up, and hopefully at the end of the day we'll be the last man standing.
And one thing about that game before we take this break, not only did you find a way to win that close one, you got the Mid-South Conference win under your belt there, but also you had to do it through some foul trouble, mixing and matching late. I mean, it was not easy to get to the finish line.
No, it wasn't. Some lineups we haven't seen much of the last 3.5 minutes. We were fortunate because of how the game played out. We didn't have to use many timeouts, so you get to really 3.5 minutes. I think we had 5 timeouts left, so there was a ton of timeouts being called. There was a lot of offense, defense substitutions. Again, we had the lead. We had to find a way to keep it, and I think everybody stepped up to when their number was called and contributed positively.
The Tigers back in action Thursday at the Powell Athletic Center as they welcome in Cumberland University for a Mid-South Conference matchup. We'll step away, come back and visit with the head coach on that upcoming contest here on Tiger Timeout.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Final segment here on this week's edition of Tiger Timeout. Matt Payton with you in the studios here at Campbellsville University, joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon. They welcome in Cumberland University on Thursday, tomorrow evening, for a Mid-South Conference game. And Coach, Cumberland University went on the road. They got a win over Bethel in their first game in league play, and then they come back home and don't play on Saturday. Yeah. So they've had a week off. Coach Eric Evans taking over there, and it's an interesting matchup for you. I know you have mentioned to me that they don't play a ton of guys. Right. It's going to be a fun battle.
It is, and you know, because of the weather that we got, them and Georgetown ended up postponing their game, and it goes back to even the Lindsey game. I thought our guys did a great job of not knowing if we were going to play and staying focused, but Cumberland U has a few extra days rest, preparation. Obviously, I'd say they were watching our game Saturday. Even though they don't play many guys, as you said, they play extremely hard. They went on the road and got a win at Bethel, so they're standing 1-0 right now in league. So now they come on another road game, and it's one that we feel like is a winnable game. Obviously, it's not just show up. We have to be able to take the performance from Lindsey and carry that over. And I do think if we do that and we guard the ball and rebound the way we did, we give ourselves a very good chance.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' upcoming schedule here. Actually, let's go to the graphic for Cumberland University first, guys, as we want to look at that matchup with Cumberland University. The Tigers interplay at 9-8, the Phoenix 8-8 on the year, and you can see there points per game fairly similar. Shoot it pretty well, and the free throw percentage falls in favor of the Tigers. The Phoenix have one of the best offensive threats in the Mid-South Conference in Darren Boyd. I mean, it's a guy that he can score in bunches, Coach, and you'll have to be on your P's and Q's come.
We will. You know, last year was his first year back from injury to where he's fully healthy now, and I think you watch him this year averaging 18, 19 a game. Is a very good scorer, and it's one of those guys that you have to have guys rise to the challenge, and I've been incredibly impressed in the first two games. You know, I think we've played probably the two best offensive guards in our first two games. You have Pig, Johnson from Cumberland's, who's averaging 22.5, and I think we held him to 3 of 10 shooting, around 13 points maybe. And then you had Kenyatta Carbon, who's just a very hard cover for Lindsey Wilson, who we made him inefficient at 4 of 13. So Keyston Brown, Dalton Kramer, Kobe Penny, hopefully Javon Smith, everybody's going to get a shot, but we've got to be able to use our defensive guard depth to make it tough on Boyd and make him inefficient like we've tried to against good players all year.
And now as we look at our upcoming matchup graphic for the Tigers, they are off Saturday. That is the off date in conference play for the Tigers and Lady Tigers, but they do have a non-conference matchup coming up on Monday with Midway. So it'll be a bit, Coach and I sit down here today. They've got the game Thursday against Cumberland University, and then they'll go Monday to Midway. And Coach, that's a Midway team that you've seen, and you'll squeeze that in before the long road trip. So it's a busy portion of the schedule coming up for you, but I know you'd love to get one back over the Eagles.
Absolutely, and you know, obviously after Thursday, you look into next week, 3 games all on the road. It's the one conference week where you've got your long road stand. So it's a very tough week. So I think getting one Thursday, getting one Monday is very important from the mental side of things, because then you're going to play what currently is the number 2 ranked team in the nation in Freed Hardeman and the reigning national champion. So obviously always a tough test, and playing at Bethel is always a tough test. So we got a really big stretch of games, tough stretch of games coming up. And again, for us right now, it's one practice, one play, one game at a time, and continue to get better. And we've had a really good week of practice, and I expect us to come prepared Thursday night.
Coach, best of luck.
Thanks, Matt.
The Tigers in action Thursday, a Mid-South Conference doubleheader as they welcome in Cumberland University. The Lady Tigers start at 5:30. Campbellsville's Tigers team takes to the floor at 7:30. And remember, students, 5 chances to win a $50 gift card to the Tiger Shop on campus. So make sure you're in attendance and root on Campbellsville's clubs in Mid-South Conference play Thursday night. For the head coach, Brent Vernon, as well as the head coach of the Lady Tigers, Ginger High Colvin, Matt Payton, saying we'll see you next time on Tiger Timeout.